Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's about 5 to 4 here on Tuesday, the 22nd of November. Uh, a quiet afternoon. I think that the markets look quiet in the run up to the US big weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend. Well, I see now that the S&P moving up towards the 4,000 level again, up 32 points on the day. And as you can see, the breadth or the number of shares in the buy recommendation on VectorVest has expanded significantly today. So the short-term trend is down, underlying trend is up, and the longest-term measure of the trend on VectorVest is still down. It's been down now for 3 or 4 months. If we have a look at the overall market, if I go to VectorVest, I just go to timing, have a look at the overall market, and that's the situation. Not a great year, as we all know. If we look at it over 6 months, that's the longest term measure of the trend on VectorVest, been down since the 26th of August. And it's saying that this is in fact a rally in a bear market. And I'm assuming that it is personally a rally in a bear market until it proves itself to the contrary. Certainly, a couple of closes above this high would in fact start to make me feel very bullish indeed. In both the UK and the American market, those highs of a few days ago are 62% of this pullback, of this fall, should I say, which was a 5-wave fall. I can't make my mind up as to whether this is a channel or whether this is in fact a rising wedge. So stuck in the middle of these, the intraday trading has been particularly easy over the last few months because the simplest signals have been following through. But I got a bit bashed about in this sideways period last week. So not a great week. I had 3 or 4 losing trades in a row where I got pulled one way and then pulled the other. No big deal. As I've told you before, there's only 4 things that can happen. 1 is a big win. 2 is a small win. 3 is a small loss. And 4 is a big loss. And your objective, and my objective certainly, is to avoid big losses. So a few losses in a row is not the end of the world. I have a position running intraday. This is the SPX. It gapped up a little bit this morning. I'm charting this in a 15-minute chart. A friend of mine who trades really well intraday suggested that I move to a 15-minute chart because he finds it much more relaxing. So I'll try it. Couldn't resist that inside bar today. So the trade was no more than a breakout of that inside bar with a stop down there, and it's still going. We shall see what happens. I suppose I should bring my stop up. I haven't done that as yet. Maybe take a bit of profit. I haven't done that as yet. So a very good day for oil. Yesterday, the oil market fell, and it trapped an awful lot of people, pulled an awful lot of people short. I said that in my Q&A session yesterday afternoon to the VectorVest regulars, where it came down and slammed down to the 78% retracement of the last range, which made a double bottom with a couple of weeks ago and reversed very strongly indeed. Produced a long wick on the daily chart. If you examine the daily chart, oil stocks are well up on that this morning. Shell up, BP up, and I'm very pleased to say that my XLE is going great guns. So if I look at some positions that I've got on the American market, these are all bets. So let me see if I can chart them. I couldn't resist this little stock last week, Target Hospitality. If I find the volume, we can see that it broke up in huge volume, went sideways on low volume, and then it broke up on high volume. Needs to get up through these highs, but it's looking good as it starts. So that's the XLE, and the XLE I've been in since the 4th of October, and that's moving up very nicely. It needs to get through this old high. As you can see, there's an old high in the way, and if oil does what I think it's going to do, then I think that's just a matter of time before it does that. I have a position in Shell as well that I've been holding for many months, and not years now, and that's up very, very nicely today. Shell's sitting around the £23 level. That's a 78% retracement of the last big range, and through that, then it can go much, much, much higher. I think it's trying to break that level. Shell's trying to break that level now on the fourth attempt. This is the GDX. Gold price up a little bit today. GDX moving up strongly. And as I've mentioned many, many times before, it was strongly accumulated at that 78% retracement. I think that we need a pullback soon. I suspect that there's going to be another run in the dollar, maybe a bit stronger, but my longer term sums tell me that the run in the dollar is nearly over. It might take to the new year before we see some dollar weakness, but it will come. The run in the dollar is extended, but I wouldn't discount another strengthening of the dollar over the next 2 to 3 weeks before that happens. A weaker dollar clearly will be good for gold stocks and precious commodity stocks in general. But again, I think that we could have a bit of pain before that happens. And this is this shock wave that I've been sitting with. It's a classic spring. There's an old high across here, but it's still not doing much for me. Both that Target and Shockwave are small cap stocks that look exceptionally good on Victor Vest that could give me a big percentage move. I haven't done anything in the UK. I've got, I think, 8 or 9 positions running in the UK. It's overly exposed to commodities, so the portfolio may not be for everyone. In fact, I'm sure it's not for everyone. And as I said 2 or 3 times, it could suffer a little bit of pain if the dollar strengthens in the short term before what I feel is going to be a period of weakness for the dollar that could last many months, if not years. So those of you that are listening from North America, have a really good Thanksgiving holiday, and those of you that are in the UK, I'm going to do my best to do another couple of these before the weekend, especially with a little bit of UK focus. So steady as she goes. Let's go back to that intraday position. I wouldn't expect it to do much more here. I think we're probably stuck in a range until the Thanksgiving weekend is well gone. Thursday's a holiday in the US and Friday is a half day, and I can't imagine much will happen. There's not a great deal of news out this week, so if you've got a few points in the bank, I suggest you take them. I don't see many big moves this week. Thanks very much indeed. I hope that was some use. Bye-bye.